Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are in the world. Thank you very much for coming by the channel once again to see some more Captain Tsubasa Dream Team. I'm the homie Nako, bringing you in this video an analysis of the new players that have just been released called Fateful semifinals or something like that, and it includes Ishisaki, Ken, and Rafael. So it's interesting because it is also a follow-up to the Canary banner in terms of it being a 3-step banner. And then aside from that, there's no guarantees of a new player. And these are also players that are going to be inserted into the regular standard gacha pool of players. So, you know, it's interesting the route that they're taking right now. But it is just the beginning, basically, or the start of a new beginning, because they just made the changes to the new bonds system, and that will have a huge effect on. It looks like they're testing some stuff out in terms of like the banners and how they're going to release players and what it might look like going forward. But at the same time, because there's still a few issues with the game that they're going to need to sort through, well, some people are proclaiming, oh, well, you're going to have to pull on every banner now. You're going to have to pull on every banner now. No, you don't. You don't. I don't think so, at least. And we'll take a look at it, okay? Okay, but before we do, don't forget to like and subscribe. Leave some commentary down below. I apologize for the fact that, you know, I actually meant to start the video with saying thank you guys again, once again. To everybody who leaves likes, to everybody who has subscribed to the channel. Also, again, I'm still blown away by the fact that we reached finally the first goal, making it to 1,000 of subscriptions. Of course, the next step that I have is that I need to increase my watch time hours, but of course, I can't do that if I don't release any content, right? I know that I mentioned that before, but still, you know, that's on me. So, but you know, I appreciate that. You know, that's something else that I need to achieve, and that's okay. Of course, you know, I just have to, like I mentioned, put out some more content, and you know, but I appreciate nonetheless, you know, all the support that you guys have given the channel, all the commentary. You know, you guys do really lift me up in times where, like, you know, there's some times where I feel kind of down, but I like to see, I appreciate seeing all of the, you know, positive energy and stuff like that, like you guys send my way. I do appreciate that a lot. I really do. Thank you. And I appreciate that, you know, you guys are enjoying the content as well, and I'm glad that I hopefully it seems to be helpful to some of you. And you know, that's the goal. Not just to, like, of course it's fun to share your pulls, right? It's incredibly fun. I like seeing other people pulling too and stuff like that. That's, of course, you know, a big allure of it. But also, you know, I like to go over the players. I like to give my thoughts on them and stuff like that. And yeah, so I do hope that you guys are finding that helpful. Okay, so now let's get to the analysis, and then after this I got to record one in Espanol, and then also I want to talk about the state of the game in general once again, not just in terms of like I know that I already made a video talking about the, you know, the boundary break stuff, the ability limit release, and the dupes, the lack of, and stuff like that. But also, you know, there's a few other things that I want to address in terms of, like, you know, the positives and the negatives, and the, you know, the changes that they made to the rank online that I guess I had overlooked. And then also the changes that are coming up to the daily and weekly missions now going forward, in a way to kind of force us to play online. Online that is not too favorable right now. But anyway, okay, we'll get into that in the next video. Right now we're analyzing these players, but at the same time it's a little important to take into context how we analyze these players now going forward, because of the way that the online rank stuff is right now. You know, in theory we had the whole thing about, like, all right, we finally get to build our true dream team, but you know, okay, yeah, I'm getting away from it. It has to be done in a separate video, okay? Man, maybe I should record that first. No, let me go through the analysis first, and then I'll record that stuff, and then when I record that stuff, I'll reference this back, but not with the analysis, okay? So, we have Ken Wakashimasu, we have Ryo Ishisaki, and we have Rafael. Now, whoops, I didn't mean to start with Rafael, but just the same way that they did with the Canary banner, they released 3 players, and what it seemed like was, as you start noticing now, not every player is being released with the bond, right? So That's a good thing and a bad thing. In terms of if you're a veteran player, well, you're more well equipped to deal with it. If you're a starting player, then the easy answer for you, if you're just starting up and your question is, well, I don't really understand what's going on, but I love the anime, I love this, blah, 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 should I pull here? The answer is no. If you're new and you're just starting off, don't pull on any of these. Just save your dream balls. And I apologize to you if it might seem boring to you at first, but the reality is that this game is a marathon, not a race. I've said that plenty of times before. Marathon, not a race, okay? And unfortunately, even those of us who have been playing for almost 6 years, whatever, how long the game has been out for. Because even when I show at the beginning of these videos how many days I've logged in for, this is still not even the account that I started the game with. This account was started when the first wave of Samurai were released. I didn't pull them on my main account. So I heard about re-rolling and all this stuff, and I was like, I'll be damned if I'm not going to have that player, because Genzo was my favorite goalkeeper. And so, I re-rolled, and it was in the days where I didn't have access to any Android or Android-related media, so I had to use the dinosaur way of re-rolling through the iPhone, which involves, you don't get it, so you have to delete the app and re-download everything. So I spent hours upon hours to pull that Genzo for this account. So I think I'm too invested in this to really give it up that easy. But anyway, that's not the point. The point is that even then, some veterans will definitely have an opportunity to make greater use of these players than new players. Some of the veteran people will have better use of these cards so that new people playing the game, there we go, because I kept saying players interchangeably with this and a person. New people playing the game will with these, okay? First off, this Wakashimasu, his stats are not good. If you're looking for a goalkeeper, this is not your answer, period, okay? The top goalkeepers here, look, he's primarily a puncher, 14, okay? Primarily a puncher, so then we're gonna do this guy. Where's he at? This guy. Who's the top one right now? Tell me, do you think Ken is good? Okay, so now that we answered that, the only reason why you would pull for this guy, because even this give everything at max plus 10% is nothing. The only, dude, and you need 3 more Rising Sun players? Oh, man. +4 and +6 if you really want to add more shield. But I think right now, the average, roughly, the perfect balance that you want roughly is about as close as you can to 60% bond and as close as you can to 20% shield. You could achieve that higher, good. I've seen some people with 62 and 23 or something like that. The highest I can achieve is 57 or 58 with 19.5, something like that. But that's because I could increase my shield, but I'm sacrificing it for auto intercept and enhance. So yeah, okay, so yeah, nothing good about him, not even this skill, unless you have, but the thing is that you don't even have a good Ken available right now because the previous anniversary one is outdated. If you knew you can pull him, so you have absolutely zero use for this skill at the moment. Plus he already has 2 520 skills. Oddly enough, one of them belongs to the previous anniversary one, which is no longer obtainable, at least not at the moment, and to the Dream Festival one, which is obtainable. However, that skill just simply uses more stamina, but it's still at the 520 momentum. Okay, so at least it's pullable. This is not any added value. It's not 540. Even Zeno got 540. Even Zeno got that 540. Zeno Hernandez. Check it out, man. Where you at? 540 right there. So Wakashimasu with the 520. This skill I wouldn't even say is a skill worth having for future use. And if it is, it would be simply a secondary skill. Because I'm pretty sure by the time they release a usable Wakashimasu, he'll probably have to come with a 530 or maybe 540 punch. Because at this point, Genzo's at 540. Zeno Hernandez is at 540. What's up with the other ones? It's 540 or bust now. That's if you want to definitely increase your chances of stopping the ball, right? Okay, so we already, Ken isn't worth it. Not even his 4% buff and 6% shield. Unless you're really hurting for shield units, then you could get some use out of it. Okay, but for bond only. And not only that, it's 1 out of 3 players. And don't forget, step 3 doesn't guarantee any of these new units. And these units will become available through SSR tickets and other transfers going forward. Plus, they're gonna be in a limited pool, so they won't be that hard to pull them if you wait. I'll show you right now. Give me 1 second. This is the price of the banner. Just like how the previous one was 1 raid, one useful one in Santana. The raid one was Pepe, and that's the one needed for the Tiger Brown raid. But everybody seems obsessed with beating it, but for what? For what? For 1 Dream Ball? For bragging rights? Do you really need the medals in there to elevate one of the players or something right now? Like, don't worry about it. Don't stress over it. Don't stress over it if you don't have to. And I don't think you have to. But then we had also the other... Oh, but what was crazy is that Santana was the good one. And even Santana at least came with the bond. You know? So, I don't know. In this case, it doesn't seem like they have that formula of what it appears like they want to do here. Which is 1 raid, 1 for bond, and 1 for actual usage on the field. But I don't think they did that with the Canary Brazil banner. I think Pepe was the raid one. Santana was the bond and the good player. And Carolus. Is it Carolus? Yeah, right? I don't think I don't even remember if he had a bond or not. But you know what? We'll check it out. Right? But it seemed like that might be the format going forward. As you saw, the Dream Collection featured a Michael that did not have any bond whatsoever. So I think that's why people were saying, oh, you're going to have to pull on every banner. No, not necessarily. You just have to be a lot more careful with where you pull. And don't just pull just to pull. Especially right now, we're just entering a new age in the game. Yes, this is nice. This Ishisaki is real nice, actually. He's real strong. But at the same time, you don't necessarily have to pull for him right now. There are a few alternatives. Especially if you're a person that's been playing for a long time. There are a few alternatives that, could get the job done as well. I think this puts this Ishisaki possibly up there in one of the top defenders for sure. He surpasses the middle school Ishisaki, and we'll make a comparison right now. Okay. I checked that out before I recorded. Oh, I try to be a little bit more prepared this time, guys. What? Can you imagine that? Okay, so we got let's just start off first with the Ishisaki, right? Oh my goodness. Where's the MS one at? Oh, there it is. Wow, he's all the way down there in terms of stats total. This is not the DC one, right? This is not the DC one, right? I think that's the regular one. And also comes with stand for. Any Euro debuffs out there, stuff like that, right? Look at that. Oh, well, nobody's releasing them anyway. But okay. And then this one's crazy too, because look, you don't even have to, it's not even a bond, so throwing them in there, okay. Okay, when matched up, okay. Interesting. With the new bond system, they increase the stats for sure. I didn't catch that. Not super crazy or anything like that, but for what he provides here, that's interesting. Primarily this, if you want to buff up your Xeno, And this to provide yourself a free additional shield. And this just because. So if you have stand firm, which is cute, and then you face off against the Misaki, you at least slow him down and burn his stamina. Whoa. Okay, that's not what we're looking at though. My bad, y'all. You know me, getting all distracted over here. Okay, so anyway, so let's say we got this guy who used to be, it was the talk of the town, right? Wow, this is a gacha unit and he's very usable. He still is. He's still usable, but as you can see, the new one far surpasses him. That attack was a lot better, intercept and block. This guy is still faster, the gacha red one. The pass looks significantly higher here on the blue one, the new one. Technique, power. So the only thing lacking is the speed. And the stats here are comparable to these higher end defenders, right? So like Misugi, I'm gonna do Misugi first because Misugi was one of those where I thought like, dude, he's too good to pass up, and he's still pretty good to have on your team for 240, and that was guaranteed to get him, period. 240 to have a defender of this caliber was not bad at all. Not 240 for a chance, not 270 for a chance, 240 guaranteed. So I hope you took advantage while you had the chance. As you see, the new Ishisaki is better defensively. The Misugi is still better passer, but overall, technique, power, speed, pretty equal. Dribble and shot don't really matter. The pass is better in terms of being able to get the ball out. But you know, defensively, Ishisaki's better, albeit just slightly, but still better nonetheless. In terms of raw stats, at least. Don't forget that. So that makes him a lot. He's definitely a lot more block focused, this Ishisaki, compared to Misugi. That he's more. He can kind of block because he has that vital area and penalty master. However, he's a lot more powerful as a tackler and interceptor because of his hidden abilities, where he increases the momentum of his tackle and intercept skills. So then everybody, oh yeah, let's go with Jito. Because in case you're running a JP team, or for like the time where we analyzed the Jito, we said he's good, but he's not like, I wouldn't pity him or whatever, you know. It was a lot more safe and better to guarantee and suggest to get Misugi to complement Genzo for the guaranteed than it was to pull for Jito. Jito was definitely just a chance. And if you got him, he's cool, but you know, practically identical right here, except that Ishisaki is a much better blocker. They're practically identical. Of course, you know, that makes Jito stronger than Misugi, but you know, they're not that far off. And then you have Gentil, that at first, when he was a debuff unit, everybody was kind of like, oh, including myself, kind of like, oh, I don't know. Like seemingly forgetting that, obviously the new bond system was coming. The only thing is that we didn't know when. We felt like, okay, it looks like they're teasing us about it, but now there's a delay because of the halftime debacle, and then all of a sudden, boom, now we got it. So, Gentil is totally usable on any buff team or anything that you want. So, with that being said, you can see he's much better than Ishisaki. He has a higher power. The block stat is practically almost up there in the same. Intercept, tackle, pass, speed, technique, almost everything is identical. The shot stat does not matter whatsoever, you know. So he's up there. So basically, the Ishisaki is up there with Gentil level in terms of his raw stats and stuff like that. What he comes with is very usable. Tenacity, so you could not worry so much about his stamina usage. Stand firm, which is being brought back to life. Shock killer to assist as well. And if you don't, you know, block the shot, well, stand firm is gonna do some damage to your opponent there. And you have this, so you get some protection against skill blockers. Remember, well, I shouldn't say remember, for anybody that's new or slightly new, it's been a long time since Stand Firm has been brought to light for any reason whatsoever. So all this tells you right here is no longer knocked back by shots. However, that's not all that it does. Stand Firm was at a time very useful because whenever you don't get knocked back by shots, you also decrease the momentum of the shot on its way to the goalkeeper. How much? I don't know that calculation. However, it is useful because of that, because it is a guaranteed way of weakening the shot momentum of your opponent, in case you weren't familiar with that. Because it doesn't describe that here. It doesn't say that. It just says no longer knocked back by shots. But that's what it does. Okay? So he's very good there. Pretty good. And, yeah, definitely worth pulling, I guess, depending on how many Dream Balls you have. And not only that, but how are you going to bring him up? How are you going to bring him up to guarantee that you increase all of his defensive stats? Because if you want to maximize this guy right here, you're going to need to get him to a minimum ability limit release level 2 to unlock his 2 special skills and to max out his defense and physical stats. But if you can get him up to at least ability limit release 3, so you can increase his passing stat as well to the max to be able to get the ball out, and that would be great. Otherwise, you can possibly get away with maximizing as much as possible in terms of let's say pass, tackle, intercept, speed, and technique. While maybe you could do this. Let's say you're only getting up to boundary break, ability limit release 2. Then you can probably max out his pass, tackle, intercept, speed, power, and technique. The power, so that you could get a significant increase. But that's the thing, is it more? I forget how the stat calculation is based. So maybe you can avoid, like, I think maybe increasing block over increasing power might yield higher numbers in game. So it might be okay with leaving power out. Now, in my head, in my mind, power contributes to you. It probably doesn't matter anymore in terms. At least I thought with the goalkeeper, it. I think it's supposed to allow you to defend yourself against getting knocked away, as a goalkeeper. In my head, at least. Okay, I haven't tested it, but I always felt that Mueller was significantly harder to accept blowing away. And if you notice now, the newer goalkeepers, their power is significantly high, so even shots that are supposed to send them flying away tend to activate a little bit less. But yeah, I think you might get a higher yield then if instead of increasing power, you increase his block, because his block is significantly higher. And in terms of increasing your numbers, when it comes to increasing them by percentage-wise, you'll get a higher yield. So you might want to do then pass, tackle, block, intercept, speed, and technique to get 6. Whoops. Pass, tackle, block, intercept, speed, and technique to the max, possibly to get the highest yields. And then if you I guess that's probably how I would do it. Okay, he comes with the new blocking skill, which was what he would need it as well, because he was stuck with the new face block, the 455 for the longest. So 500 is good to have. He had also 490 with the Skylab face block. However, you need a Jito to use that. Okay, so we already went over that. So yeah, definitely worth pulling. Worth having, I should say. Definitely worth having. I shouldn't say worth pulling, because right here spending 30, 40, 50, 70, 120. 120 for the chance, which isn't too bad. But if I'm going to be taking just chances, I'd still rather wait on just the Dream Collection or Dream Festival units. At least for me, because I have some time playing already, so I have a lot of useful units already for Bond. Some decent enough defenders where I don't have to pull for the Ishisaki. I don't have to risk 120 Dream Balls, so I can continue to save up for later. That's it. Okay? Now this guy. As you see, the numbers here are not going to cut it for any team that you put him in, even though his full body sanity 10%. Oh man, it's not gonna do anything to anybody for anything. Nothing. And then only 10% increase. Stamina cost down, I guess. Of course, no bond. And there you go for the raid. So, this ain't going to do anything to anybody. Maybe for the raid. But that's it. So, definitely not worth pulling. Not even for the skills. These 2 skills he has available through the Dream Festival units. And if not, then wait for this guy to pop out in one of the tickets or one of your pulls in the future by chance. Because let's take a look. So again, as we stated, none of the new players are guaranteed when you make it to step 3. Only an SSR player is guaranteed. And what they do to help you is that they reduce the pool. Okay? And they increase the rate. So you have a 14% chance on each player, which isn't necessarily bad, but it's definitely not the same as like when you have a guaranteed SSR new player, where they would be at 33.32%. Okay, so there's a chances that you get one of these instead. We'll look through them real quick because you can see, just so you can see that a lot of these are relatively new, and there's the new canary ones in there. Granted, the whole point is that if you pull up knockoff, I wanted one of the canary ones, I would prefer with the 14% over 1.611. Okay, I get that. Mathematically, you are correct completely. But you still ran the chance of not getting them. And how many times don't you end up pulling for a player and you end up getting a player that was much harder to pull for because the rate is lower than one of these with a higher rate? So there's a good chance that you're probably going to get this Santana here instead of that Ishisaki. You know it. You know it's going to be that way. You know it. So, mathematically, but whatever. Okay? And then you have the mythical ones, and then that's it. So that's kind of cute, right? That they reduce the pool and whatever, but at the same time, it kind of sucks. I've already kind of addressed it, but I'm going to address it again in another video. Okay? So, too long didn't read, don't pull. I don't think you have to. I think it's much better to save up your 120 Dream Balls. Unless you're, I don't know what you could be desperate for, I guess. If you didn't pull the Misugi and you need a green defender, a green Japanese defender. Otherwise, Misugi could still hold on. Wait for Dream Festival. Right here, this one just came out. Look, 13 days left. Plus, add on top of that when it's on the final day, it says 24 hours left. So you almost have roughly, at the time of this recording, 13 and a half days. So, don't rush into it. Relax. Chill. Take it easy, man. I went all in. If you saw my Dream Fest pulls, I went all in to see if I would end up with that Natureza, right? And I didn't. But I walked away with 2 out of 3, which wasn't bad. And look where I'm at already with the Dream Balls, 385. So, they're giving us some good stuff. And then the thing is that they're not bringing out stuff that are making me want to pull. Like I skipped on the previous banner. I skipped on Michael. They're not like overbearing us with so many different banners. And we already went through a period too, remember, where like the banners weren't coming, I guess, quote unquote, fast enough, because we're like, hey man, where are the defenders? Where are the defenders? You're giving us all these attackers. Where are the defenders? So the game is gonna go through a lot of like different phases like that and whatever. So chill. I know you're probably itching to pull something right now, but no, don't. Use this opportunity to practice patience and self-control, because in the end, you don't have to pull for these players. The only one worth it is Ishisaki, but again, it's like, you don't have to, man. You see, they're going to be added onto the pool. Okay? And I think that once you get SSR tickets, right now I have 2. Watch. I'm going to try and accumulate them this time and see. Because I had been, pulling a few times because I was looking for a couple of specific players so that I would be able to perform ability limit release, but they didn't come. So now I'm just going to save them because now I have some squads set up. So I don't need any dupes or anything at the moment for ability limit release. But, yeah, I would say you don't pull. And if you're going to pull, hopefully you get Ishisaki. And if you get Ishisaki, well, hopefully you have the resources to increase him. Because while he is a top tier defender, if you don't even increase him to minimum ability limit release 2, not only are you short 2 2 skills to use, but remember, he doesn't have anything to protect himself. Oh yeah, he does. He has one protection against skill blockers. 1. So you need to increase your skill slots, and you need to be able to maximize his defensive potential. Otherwise, he will simply not be the same. Don't forget, he doesn't have auto intercept. He comes with I think auto block only, was it? No, not even that, right? Oh yeah, he does have it. Good, 80%. All right, so not bad. Okay. So he's usable, but still, to maximize him, you still have to be able to elevate. And right now, if you're not able to, then why are you gonna pull for him? You're gonna pull for him and have him on your team and look desperately for resources to bring him up, and then next thing you know, the next new player comes up, then there's gonna be a better defender, then you're gonna look for ways, but now you don't have even less resources to pull him up because you tried everything to get your resources for this player. So just chill. Right now, they're figuring things out. It's a new change in the boundary break system. In the bond system. So they're gonna have to figure out what's gonna work and what's not, and then we're gonna be complaining, and they see that we're not pulling on these banners not because they're gonna be gacha cards. That's not it. It's just that how are we supposed to bring them up? Okay, how? So just keep those things in mind before you pull. All right, that'll be the end of the video. Thank you guys very much for watching. This was a longer analysis video than I expected, but I felt that there's a lot of things that need to be covered, and that's why I need to record the state of the game video that I want to record coming up. But first, Espanol, please, and then we'll get to that. And then, once again, I want to thank all of you guys for taking some of your time out of your day to come spend some time here and watch my content. And I hope it is helpful to you, and I hope that it does bring you some kind of joy as well as you watch them. And I hope that we do continue to try to practice kindness, to be respectful, to be responsible, to be safe. So please take care of yourself, and let's take care of each other. Much love and peace. Till the next video. Don't forget to dance and to laugh, yo. Dance it up, laugh it up, dance it up, laugh it up, dance it up, laugh it up, dance it up, laugh it up.